messages, instructions, especially for new mothers or mothers-to-be, because interesting enough, what we found is that, as you may know, Bangladesh has just reduced its child mortality rate by more than half. And interesting enough, here's what has had a direct impact on that. It is the level of mother's education and information available to her. A mother who is better informed, she knows what the steps that she needs to take. So, in terms of what Digital Bangladesh has done, it is touching the lives of millions of people every day. Every time someone picks up a mobile phone and makes a call, this is Digital Bangladesh in action. They may not be able to necessarily define it because it is a much bigger concept. But I don't think being able to define the concept affects the outcome or affects the improvement in their lives.
Thank you. Can I just add on to that? I know people are really getting some benefits of Digital Bangladesh. So, for example, from the 7th of October this year, no check, is going physically to Bangladesh Bank from the Dhaka alone. This checks, only the images of the checks are going to the clearing house in Dhaka, and even the public banks, we doubted that they could make it, but they all made it. All the checks. Now, someone going to a bank branch, feels that the Digital Bangladesh in action, because these checks are being honored, through digitization. Within a couple of weeks, we will have, Credit Information Bureau in place. That will be online. If a businessman wants to have a, clearance from that, whether that is a default, company or not, you will get it online in minutes. So that will, then business people will feel that there is a digitization process going on. At the moment, if you want to, apply to Bangladesh to bank for a job, you cannot, apply in papers. You need to only apply, even for a, small job like MLSS or peons, you need to go through online. So you can feel it that the Digital Bangladesh is on. There is no tendering in the central bank on papers. It has to be online. So, and there are 8 banks have been given licenses for mobile banking. So people will every day feel that there is a digitization process on. So that's how, we'll have to, we cannot just talk it out and see Digital Bangladesh. We'll have to act, and that's what we are doing in Bangladesh.
My name is Rizal Kurim Chaudhary. I'm a prosperity manufacturing businessman. My question to our Honorable Governor of Bangladesh. Recently, a lot of financial institutions in Bangladesh are issuing a specific share to the NRB, which we have to apply through foreign banks with our foreign currency. I have observed few banks and financial institutions are issuing 10%.
Can we actually limit the question to the Digital Bangladesh things so that we can divert?
Say involving almost with NRB.
Okay, please be very brief. We are running short of time.
I will be available if you want to talk to me.
My question is that we are investing money as NRB, but we have no rights to observe their management board. And I am requesting you, is there any way to create a observing post for our NRBs in the financial institution?
That's a very good suggestion. I'll think about it. All right.
Okay, thank you. Please.
Okay, I'm Saeed Rahman, and you may know me. Fahim knows me, Shamim knows me. I'm a founder of Bangla IT. It's the biggest IT professionals group for Bangladesh and NRBs. I work for the state of Kentucky. As my question, actually, I'm trying to ask a question to Sajid Wajid. I do advise for CIO office, state CIOs. So our state is very poor, like Bangladesh. But if you see our e-government ranking, we are one of the best in US, okay? So same thing you can do, you can follow my footsteps, because I advise directly to CIO's office. The state strategic plans, enterprise policy, we make it. So still what I see here, I have been helping voluntarily, as many of you know me personally, that we are not still on the proper focus. Still we are not focusing properly. I'm asking Sajid, you came from Bangalore, you have seen how Bangalore is. I was in IT Bombay, I did my bachelor's. Then I came here, and I've seen how India is doing in outsourcing. We're talking about outsourcing. We haven't established our high-tech part. I have been request in so many years. I personally approached so many CEOs directly.
Can we please?
Yeah, my question is the strategic plan, what we have. I don't see any strategic plan
Okay,
here.
fine, we got your question.
Yeah, please.
Maybe you haven't really been looking at it.
I think I've seen it.
Our government has adopted an IT policy. We have a strategic plan. And what you're talking about, frankly, e-governance, is only a small fraction of what Digital Bangladesh is. You see, you could, at the end of the day, as I mentioned in my presentation, when you talk about e-governance and government systems and having, frankly speaking, there are two problems, and especially, I'm sorry, which state did you say you were from?
Kentucky.
I'll give you an example of the problems I see, and this is what I've noticed is necessarily that after having all these fancy strategic plans, you still can, in the developed countries, spend $1 billion and fall flat on your face, whereas we actually develop a solution cheaper without having such a fancy. I'm from Virginia, and 2 weeks ago my wife's driver's license expired. Unfortunately, for a period of 2 weeks, here in the state of Virginia, in the United States of America, you could not renew your driver's license. Why? Because the system that the state of Virginia spent $1 billion on, developed by Northrop Grumman, one of the biggest names
I know that
company in the industry, failed. So, e-governance is a byproduct of Digital Bangladesh. It is not the focus. We have our plan. As you see, our plan is not to, at the end of the day, government systems, what are they? Whether you have a photo ID, whether you have a machine-readable passport, at the end of the day, it's some servers, some terminals, input-output devices, a database is always there, some data processing, backup systems. That is it. One vendor's product is no different at the end of the day from another's. What we want to do is our focus has been that focus on providing services to the citizen first, and especially those who need it. And that is where we have focused first. We identified 245 quick win, immediate projects that the government needed to undertake, and we have undertaken them all. So I don't see how you can, sitting over here in the US, say you don't see a strategic plan.
Actually, I was asking a question in other direction.
I think we should give others some.
Yeah, just our focus is outsourcing, right?
Okay. I think when others have question. Before that, Anila, would you like to just mention a few words?
I just wanted to supplement. As far as strategic plan is concerned, I think what works in Bangladesh, from the limited time that I've spent there, it doesn't work the way it works in the US. Plan first, then execute doesn't work in Bangladesh. You have to execute some amount of work, then actually develop a strategic plan. If you look at digitalbangladesh.gov.bd, there is a strategic plan that's going through consultation right now, and there is a specific chapter. We have about 14 chapters dedicated to each sector: healthcare, education, law, land, law enforcement, justice, so on and so forth. And there is a chapter dedicated to IT outsourcing that is being developed jointly between the Access to Information Program and BASIS. That's going through consultation. So if you look there, you'll find the draft, and by the end of November, you'll actually get the final chapter, which will have the whole strategic plan for IT outsourcing also.
Okay, thank you, Anila. Please.
Yes. I'm Fani Mustafiz. I'm from Cisco and I'm from California. So I've been to a couple of companies, and I've seen some of the companies like 20 to 30% engineers actually coming from India and working as a contractor. But I haven't met any Bangladeshi engineers actually coming over here and working as a contractor. So after talking to them, I found out that they come through either a B2 or B1 visa or H1B, some visas, and they get a tremendous help from the companies over in India and also the government of India. So my question is, this is a window of opportunity, that's how I see, to bring the Bangladeshi engineers to come over here and work as a contractor, and there's a lot more job openings for that. So how the government can help Bangladeshi engineers over there, and how the government can help a company like ours in here to bring them over here to work with the companies.
That is an excellent idea. How Indian companies did it is that they would actually set up manpower companies who specialize in bringing contractors over, and they would manage